welcome to Content Breaker. He's Kai, I'm Kelz. We're joined by Strangely Entertaining and Baba Horzog. This week, we're talking on the greatest DCOM of my opinion for DCOM December. It is Wendy Wu, Homecoming Warrior. Gentlemen,
not a lie was told in that intro.
How are you? And why is Wendy Wu the GOAT?
I'm good. Burn the song.
Boom.
Wow, that's pretty definitive. All right, good talk, guys.
All right,
I'll
guess
catch you
we
next
can.
week.
Guess we can wrap it up here. We figured it out, everybody.
She is great though.
I mean,
it's been a while since I've seen. Really, I can't say any DComs thanks to last week. Fuck you, jump in.
Damn.
But yeah, I don't watch these anymore. I don't go out of my way to watch them, but I do remember this one being my favorite, and for the rewatch, so this conversation and everything, yeah, no, it still holds up. This one's tight.
Yeah, no, like Wendy Wu is, probably like I feel like the most versatile DCOM that was made because it was like filmed in New Zealand, not in Canada where the rest of them was filmed. It was a large production. It was heavily marketed overseas in Australia, Malaysia, and Japan, which I mean for a DCOM is crazy. It had a great cast, had a great fight choreography. I do remember being the most hype about this one. Like there was this in high school, high school musical.
Oh, yeah. that original Disney Channel series, High School DxD, and they're more.
Look,
I had to filter through all my high school.
I would have a lot more respect for Disney if that sentence was true.
I remember the days back on JetX where I watched Wendy Wu Homecoming Warrior and then High School DxD. They really knew their market.
I had to cycle through all the high schools in my head, and you know how I animate. But this, I definitely remember my experience for this. I remember like rushing home on that Friday night, the like red carpet premiere that they used to have, like the DCOM intro, like my snacks and everything. Me and my sister just like getting ready to watch some good old like everything because they had a Zack and Cody marathon right before it debuted because of the song, and it was just a chill night, and it's a vibe. It's definitely one of those movies that takes you back and makes you remember the first time you saw it. At least I feel like. And Brenda's song.
Yes.
Fun fact: I had never seen it before.
I'm not surprised, Mister. I'm not allowed to listen.
Yeah, I didn't have cable, so I watched like a third of a season of the 5th Power Rangers.
Listen, I mean, yes, but no. Okay, so funny. Like I had seen near the end of it where the teachers are trying to train Wendy, and I'm like, I had no context for what was happening, so I was like, why is Wendy beating up on these teachers? I don't understand. Like, what is happening here?
Well,
they deserve it.
You know, every high schooler's fantasy.
Yeah.
Get revenge on the teacher.
But going back and watching it, and I was like, you know what? That was actually a fun time. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. They made the horrific act of possessing other people kind of fun.
Yeah.
I love
Thanks, Disney.
I love how the Disney evil green was canonized in this, because like there's a theory, like everything in Disney was like in the early 90s was like evil was green. Like you had the Black Cauldron, you had Anastasia, you had like Scar when the Hyenas were doing Nazi stuff.
Hold on. Pause. Anastasia. Technically,
I know it's not a Disney movie,
Disney.
but then I corrected and said the 90s because
there's not even a technicality with that. That was Don Bluth.
Yes, which no one knows because Anastasia was not anything. In the Swan Princess.
Excuse me?
Maybe.
No. Don
Great
Bluth is
American
way more-
Adventure?
How do we...
Secret of Nim.
Oh.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
The Pebble and the
I thought
Penguin.
Land Before Time.
Yeah. The
Don't,
first
don't
one.
at me with Land Before Time.
First-
Land Before
first
Time
one.
was
That was Don Bluth.
it was a product of his time. Land is True Stars. Okay, we get it. but like
I think
Okay.
you need to go back and watch Land Before
I think
Time
you need to go
personally.
back and watch
Yeah.
Land Before Time.
maybe I
didn't
will, but you
appreciate
know what? I
that
won't
one.
go back and watch The Brave Little Toaster because that gave me nightmares, and I still
No.
have them.
We're gonna do
God, I forgot about the Brave Little Toaster. That
Duh.
was so good.
Don Bluth December. We're doing
What?
Land Before Time, Brave Little Toaster, and then mixing it up entirely with other things that get mistaken. Maybe it's Mistaken Identity March. Let's do that.
Road to El Dorado.
I don't think
That was
Brave Little
Totally
Toaster
DreamWorks. I know, but everybody thought it was.
is actually
I know no one else who has ever made that mistake.
Everybody.
Yes.
no, Brave Little Toaster's
green-
not Don Bluth. But anyway, sorry.
Green goo
Yes,
Or
the green
smoke.
evil.
means
That
evil.
was- Yes,
Or
that was very
Grievo,
prominent in the
if you
90s.
will.
Sure.
I will not.
Anyway,
I've always wanted to do that to somebody who said that. You gave me the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, if you will. Yes. Now, Wendy Wu is this film. Let's define it, okay? Because that's our job. We're 8 minutes in.
Made for
Let's get to
TV
it.
film.
It's a DCOM made for television, specifically Disney Channel,
Channel
featuring
original movie, yes.
Brenda Song of Sweet Like Finn, Zack of Cody and Fame. Don't worry
Stuck
about
in the
it.
suburbs.
Yep, stuck in the suburbs. Yeah,
The Christmas present.
she's been putting in the work, right?
Yes.
She finally gets her own solo film as the star, just like last week with that confounded, or not Orlando Bloom,
Corbin
Blue.
Yes, Corbin
Corbin
Blue.
Yeah, that guy.
Yes, I'm surprised he didn't make a cameo, but either him or his dad. But it's either here nor there. It's a film, very generic, basic plot, but it's very fun. It's very well executed, and there's a lot of action to keep it interesting. The story follows with this Chinese American family living in a fake city, or fictional city in California. And they're just living their life. Wendy is a high school student that's very popular, and her singular priority in life is becoming the homecoming queen. I'm like, I could remember the title. The
I can
homecoming
remember
queen.
this thing people cared about in high school.
But her destiny dictates she's gonna live a life otherwise than becoming the homecoming queen. Based on the title, that means she's gonna be the homecoming warrior, and we get a lot of fun that goes along with that.
Young Low.
Yeah. I'm actually pretty impressed with the fact that these high school characters felt like they were from high school. They did a really good job there. It sometimes happens with older teen actors where they're clearly not that age and you can tell that they're not that age. Power Rangers usually has a problem with that. But you're supposed to believe that they're just in high school. No, these characters actually feel like they're in high school. Which works well with that contrast of, hey, just dealing with regular old high school problems. The biggest thing you got to worry about is getting enough votes to get that crown. And if you don't fight this thing, the world ends. No pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I liked how a lot of tropes were kind of subverted in this, which is another good thing about it. Like how the girl who got inhabited by Young Lo, her frenemy, wasn't a bad person. Like she was just literally living her life. Like
Meh.
Debatable, I guess.
Meh. I would say this is like Shadow the Hedgehog. All right.
please elaborate.
She had a
Ooh,
gun.
wait. Who got shot?
Wendy.
Say-
Wendy got
She's
shot.
looking for that fourth Chaos Emerald.
Okay,
Heck yeah.
okay. Follow me.
Maria.
This is PG. Sonic didn't kiss a human girl in this
Yet.
one, so okay. With it, there,
That was
At this
PG.
point-
it's
Hey,
a
that game was
tan-
rated E for everybody.
It's a tangential relation. Okay. But yeah, I agree that the enemy Okay, we're getting high school with it. The frenemy that Brenda Song has in this show, yeah, it's not like evil. It's just the competition, and they're both like assholes to each other, trying to one up each other for this popularity contest. And so she didn't get possessed because she was like evil plotting. It's just something that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or not.
She didn't seek out the power of Yang Lo. She was
No, young
Vested.
was definitely no consent with that possessing at all.
That man
I
was
mean,
down for anything.
Is there ever any consent in possession?
yes.
No.
Yes.
Not
I
in this
mean-
film.
Oh
Not
yeah,
in this
not in
film.
this one. I mean, like, anyway. So, yeah. So this is the story of our main character, Wendy, how she has to go and navigate the woes when she wants to become a homecoming queen. But this movie deals a lot with like heritage, which I felt like all the DComs at least tried to have a lesson in them, and I feel like this lesson was like, don't forget where you came from, or like honoring history. Maybe, I don't know, Zog. I didn't write it. Give me that like.
I can
Look.
see where you're getting that, but I think that was more of a side thing, just like something to give the family context to why they're going along with all the stuff. Because the lesson I got from Wendy herself, the main character, was very like responsibility kind of thing. Don't run from your responsibilities, even if you do, they're just gonna catch up with you anyway. It felt very Lion King-esque in that respect.
See, I guess I also got the Lion King vibe, but I got the Lion King vibe for like lineage of no bar, even when you lost, like, find it. So I mean, I guess possibility there too. It's weird how people can watch things and get different perspectives.
I was gonna
not
say,
be correct.
yeah, I think this is definitely one of those DComs where you can kind of sit down. One of those films, really, you sit down and everybody gets a different. Some people are in it for the action, which wasn't bad at all. Some people are in it for like, oh,
very
heritage,
impressive.
yeah. Some people are like, oh, history. History is cool, learning things. Other things are like, family and respect and responsibilities. All that stuff's kind of mixed into an hour and 30 film. It's crazy.
Now I have to ask you, right? One of the big things is representation, right? So
Yeah,
with
sure.
all of these big high key DComs, we have a diverse representation of who's the main character, what's the environment, what's the demographic focus. Reaches out to a large audience to expose them to these things, but really focusing on a specific demographic as the main characters. Right. My question here is, after having watched Jump In and Wendy Wu, what is your opinion about the familial relationship between characters? Do you think one did that? One portrayed family relationships more effectively than the other? Did they do it differently? What's y'all's opinion of this?
They definitely did it differently. I'm gonna be honest. Here in Wendy Wu, they felt more like a family to me, and also I was still kind of shocked that they gave us a complete family. Like, you got the mom, the dad, the brother, and the grandma in the house on top of the main character. It's like, holy shit, nobody's dead or just missing.
I mean,
Damn,
I
Disney.
felt like it did a good job, but I felt like it was also accurate representations of family. I know in like the Oriental lifestyle, you will normally have like the generations living, not Oriental, but like the demographic that this is. You have like different. I don't know, that X messed me up, but like
in that Asian household.
In a sort of Asian cultures, yes.
Yes, you'll have a lot of generations living under one household, and then in like the more urban communities with Jump In, like sometimes there are a lot of single parent households, whether one parent left, one parent was lost through a circumstance. I feel like both were believable for their settings. I don't feel like one did better. I feel like they both did a good job of representation the environment that they were in. Because you very rarely do see, at least in my opinion, see like Asian families not have a complete family in that instance. So I guess we'll know when we watch Luck of the Irish next week and see what that household demographic looks like.
Yeah, I guess the more root of my question is how is that family portrayed, and how does that work with the plot and the storytelling? How is that story told effectively? And I like the family unit of Jump In. I think my issue with it is the overall pacing of the plot itself, because with Wendy Wu we get enough screen time with all of these characters together and individually interacting that we care about the family existing. Whereas with Jump In, it's like, okay, the dad is around, but also he's only here to cook food and box. And we don't get any more nuance for the challenges the family's going through until the end, kind of. And I guess that's my hang up. Doc.
Yeah, I feel like it with Jump In, Izzy's the main character, but I feel like to actually like give us what they were trying to, it should have been the family as the main character, and instead of just like the dad is the opposition to what Izzy's trying to do. Meeting those expectations is what's giving Izzy trouble in his story. So it should have more of a presence. It should be the main obstacle. You don't have to necessarily make the dad or the antagonist of the movie, but he should have a presence there that feels like, oh, hey, this is a stopping point. That's not necessary for the story here in Wendy Wu. The family does not have that necessity at all. If anything, they're just a plot device to say, like, yes, through this line of descendants and everything, this is why our character is the chosen one. But they still feel more like characters and not plot devices in this movie. So I feel for them more.
Yeah, and we see each interact with kind of the main two characters throughout the film. I don't know. Not right or wrong, just different.
Yeah,
maybe it's right. I don't know. Speaking of cast, speaking of the family, let's get to the cast. We touched on Brenda Song as the titular Wendy Wu. We also have Shin Koyamada as Shen. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Funny how that works.
Buddhist monk coming from a long line of reincarnation of him helping the Yin warrior defeat the evil. That is... I forgot what the evil's name is.
Yan Lo.
Yan Lo.
I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but I'm just gonna run with it.
Yes, Yanlo. So yeah, Shin is definitely a pivotal character. It was like my favorite character next to Brenda. Sorry. And just kind of see an opening scene with him fighting these other 4 monks, like this barge or like floaty thing in a pond.
Just the middle of a pond. Just
It's just a little stadium.
And it's like interesting because when I was looking at it, they're in Malaysia and a lot of monks are, Eton or somewhere else, and I was talking about how this movie kind of dealt with more of like the Malaysian monk, which is, there was a lot of differences. I can't remember exactly what the differences are. They were noted and like appropriate in that, like they were showing that true distinction. Also, he's a New Zealand like superstar, big over here in America. Worked on Power Rangers. He was in Wild Force. Was on the Disney Channel games. And I think he won the red team that year. I shot red team. And I just hate that he wasn't in more stuff. That's like my only gripe. Like I wish he had been in more things, but other things couldn't contain him because he was so cool. But
Well,
in this movie,
two things. One, not Malaysia, because that's a peninsular country, South Asia. Mongolian mountain ranges.
another M.
Also, yeah, Koyamada went on to like one. He did Last Samurai with what's his name, Tom Cruise. Then he did Wendy Wu. Those are like the two big things he's mostly remembered for over here in the States. But he's also like a karate black belt, and he's like a cultural ambassador for karate and a number of tour towns in Japan as like a major tourist thing. He's also got his own production company, and he's making his own stuff with his wife. And it's like, I can only dream to reach the reasonable levels of success like Shin Kamayada.
Oh, like I love it. And his character Shin is such a driving force in this movie that kind of brings things forward. Like, we see the grandmother. Like it's introduced how like grandmother knows. Like, oh, this is a relative who's visiting China. Oh, mom, why didn't you say anything? Do I have to say anything? Just like she's like,
I am your mother. Shut up.
I know who you are. So, and then we see by Shin being there, it also helps the family want to embrace more of their heritage. It's like, I feel like I don't know this and that. Helping the mom with her historian stuff. He's like, he's out here got Wendy meditating on deaths and everything and fighting the forces of Young Lo as they approach and everything. And I don't know why. I know the fight scene with the brother wasn't supposed to be funny, but I laughed that whole way through.
No, it was great.
It was very much like it was like a Jackie Chan fight in the middle of his movies.
Literally reaches
Let's
into
not
the
break
fish
the.
tank.
Don't want to break the
fish,
vase. I must protect this thing.
Not the
was
500 cupcakes that never get eaten. Yeah.
It was super freaking goofy and nonsensical, and I loved every second of it.
And the entire vibe was they must not wake Wendy Wu. So
The only thing we were missing was a point where both of them just stopped and went shh, and just started fighting all over again.
bruh, I gotta touch on one thing right now. And this is in the action, this is in the production. This is in the kind of tropes that are used to storytell a lot of this action and really emphasize with visual effects. These are some dusty motherfuckers.
Yeah, no, I
Like,
noticed that too. I was like, what's with the dust? Someone needs to clean.
Well, every time they collide with a hit. Yep. Every strike, it's dusty as fuck. And I get it. I get it. It's how we show this.
Yeah.
But damn.
Yeah.
I think it's cool
In the
because it's
beginning,
like
it's a-
special effects before like that time of how they are. I liked it.
Yeah. In the beginning, it is a little dirty.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna go with dirty. But when you get to the final fight and they're fighting people who are made of stone or in clay, no, that's just fitting.
Yes. So in the American house with the family that's just hanging out, Dusty is kind of out there. But yes, when we're in the museum fighting the terracotta warriors, logically makes perfect sense in lore. Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Super fitting. Yeah. Which reminds me, the only problem I really have with this movie is that just Deus Ex Machina, fuck this, I'm getting my happy ending thing. At the very, very end.
Yeah, it's a Disney Channel movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
just say, oh yeah, he had to die.
The fact that 99% of it was already good, and it's just the one thing that's bothering me. Nah, good movie.
I'm just mad
I can look over that and just be like, okay, that's fine. But that's still bullshit, and I'm still gonna call it out.
I'm just mad she didn't Kamehameha this man. Like, you hit him with the first time.
Yeah,
you ain't gonna save his life with a Kamehameha too? Like, come on.
I mean,
Yeah, come on, do like Dragon Ball Evolution. Just CPR him with a Kamehameha.
maybe he didn't have enough time. Like, it's a long process to charge up that much ki. And the enemy's got to let you. And the enemy was not letting her charge up.
Oh, no. Yeah, okay. I want to touch on something, and then we'll talk about the enemy not letting them do a lot of things that they definitely did. One more actress I want to touch on. In bringing this film with a lot of credibility, we have Grandma Wu, portrayed by Sui Chin. And oh my god, I love Grandma.
No, she's great. Like,
Yeah.
Grandma great.
she was also what else was she in? No, she
okay,
was-
so she's been in things since 1962.
Yes. And man, I ain't gonna lie, 1962. If you know, you know.
A little bit before
Oh.
your time, yeah.
I'm just saying, if you know, you know. Don't ask what you know if you don't know. But if you know, you know.
One of her bigger things, more recently in Hollywood was I think
Was
it's
Shang-Chi.
the
She's in
most
Shang-Chi.
recently Shang-Chi. Earlier, Memoirs of a Geisha.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's a big Chinese actress, and you know, I thought it was super cool. In the same way that Corbin Blue brought his dad, like we're bringing like actress royalty into Wendy Wu, the DCOM. You know.
Yes. No, that was super dope. Like, you stand her too. But before we got like completely off the cast, I had to talk about two people.
Right before you get there, just so, because it is on the same topic as she's also an Avatar. She is Aunt Wu, the fortune teller.
Oh, of course.
She is.
Yeah.
Oh,
As soon as I saw
see
that, I
it.
was like, did they name the character after her? Oh my god, this is great. Sorry.
That makes
had to-
sense because she even looks like them. It's okay. It's good.
But she's also Madame Wu from the Diary of Ellen Rimbaugh. Maybe Wu is just a common character name for them.
Maybe archetype. But two characters that we could not talk about were Sally and Anne Hutchison. Well, Sally Martin and Anne Hutchison, who were Wendy's friends, whose names I sadly forgot, but they were two of my favorite Power Rangers. Because if you're in New Zealand, you must do New Zealand. We had Sally Martin, who was Tori, the blue Ninja Storm Ranger, arguably one of the best, if not the best.
I knew she looked
female
familiar.
ranger.
I was like,
I love her.
oh,
Like, the reason I had a crush on Surfer Girls in my childhood, and I found out they were a person, but, you know,
Well,
and then
Florida
her
Surfer
other
Girls.
friend was the best Power Ranger of her season, Anna Hutchison, who was the Yellow Ranger in Jungle Fury, which, okay, Red Ranger was still the best. Okay, and then Purple Ranger. But she wasn't the least best Ranger. She wasn't the Blue Ranger from Jungle
look,
Fury.
Jungle Fury is just a very underrated, very good season. And
Yes.
nobody turned in a bad performance on that one.
Yes. Except Theo.
They-
But
Debatable on that. But I spent this entire movie looking at them, watching their performances, and be like, where do I know you from?
now the second so I didn't know it as a kid, but the second I turned on my rewatch, because I knew Tori. I was like, yo, that's Tori.
I knew
And
that
then-
voice for somewhere.
And then halfway through the movie, I'm like, why does the other girl look familiar? I don't know. Because when we watched this, Ninja Storm was already, like, I think out to air or airing. but
Ninja Storm was in 2003.
Okay, yeah, so Ninja Storm had already aired, but Jungle Fury hadn't. So I hadn't known Anna yet. So I was like, yo, that's the Yellow Ranger. And then finding out the director of Wendy Wu also directed Power Rangers, I was like, yo, I am spazzing right now. And then finding out Shin was a choreographer in the Power Rangers fights as well, I was like, yo, this is peak, and Wendy Wu has become escalated on my echelons of DCOM greatness.
No wonder the choreography was so good.
Because
Yes.
this man, Koichi Sakamoto, Bro, he started choreographing battle scenes back in Mighty Morphin.
Yes.
Makes sense.
He's been with Power Rangers from damn near day one. And
He's a
Oh,
good bro.
That's
I
why
wanna
the
binge
fight
Power Rangers
choreography
now.
is so exciting. Don't.
I've been binging for the past 2 weeks, and it's a whole thing. I'm not gonna let you know. Why?
You know what? I
In
think
a
you
good
way.
should binge.
They even got him on some Kamen Rider, some actual like Super Sentai teams before they became Power Rangers.
Strange. I think you should binge all of Sakamoto's works.
They got him in some Ultraman. Hot damn, fuck yes.
Sakamoto.
That's the new stuff, man. Mega
What's
Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy from 2009.
What's Sakamoto?
That's the director's last name.
Oh, okay.
Koichi Sakamoto.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you meant like.
No, it's not a series. It's a dude.
Yeah.
All right. We've had a great time talking about the production. Let's get into the plot.
Yes. So, which I feel like we already touched on, but yeah, no,
Yeah,
Wendy
there's not really
is,
much plot. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
Wendy is an average, Asian American teenager, and her life turns upside down when a couple of Buddhist plays started making trouble for her and got to show up.
This is not the Fresh
The high
Prince of Bel Air.
I tried.
Started making trouble in the neighborhood. She got in a lot of fights.
And her grandma got scared and said, "Shin, come over here to show her she's the one true heir." Anyway, I don't have to. Anyway, so yeah, that's basically it's a story of F around and find out. Just, Young Lo F's around and then he finds out. But
Okay.
yeah.
Let's talk about the brother fight. Then let's talk about, I don't know, the only other fight that happens, which is the climax.
Yes. So the brother fight. Brother is possessed by Young Lo. I can't remember if the dog got possessed first or he went to the dog after.
He went after.
Yeah. So the brother got possessed by the pizza guy.
Yes.
He was
yes.
ordering some pizza.
The brother is the
brother
pizza
is
guy.
the
Brother, yeah, I was about to
Okay,
say.
yeah. So he
So
got
about the
Yeah.
possession,
Oh.
right?
trying to track it all back.
All right. So the security guard at the museum accepts a package that just so happens to contain the spirit of Young Lo, or
The
like
the
Shin
Greenville
Big-
Jade Orb.
Yeah.
Young
Big
Lo.
green orb. Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, that possesses him. He then possesses the brother who happens to be dropping off a pizza, and then that leads to the fight.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And so the fight ensues where he's going to go grab Wendy Wu to not really sure what he was, but he was
Steal
going
Take
to
her
go
away
grab
her key or something. I think.
More or less, yeah. It's
Steal
just
her?
suck out the cheese, take all the good energy. You mo go fighty sao that shit.
Yeah.
And just not have to worry about fighting her later.
Yeah.
Just the whole take them out before they're dangerous idea.
But he didn't know Shin was about that life and had an international license to kick butt. So Shin's like, no, grabs her, and this fight is like we talked about. It's one of those comedic yet like cool fights because I feel like there was a renaissance of fight choreography where it's like trying not to break stuff. I can't remember the first time that I saw it, but I remember it. It's just like
It's a
catching Jackie
it's a
Chan probably.
trope amongst Jackie
Yeah,
Chan.
definitely. Jackie
Yeah.
Chan.
Yeah. The first time
So-
I saw it was in Jackie Chan Adventures,
with
which
Viper.
was itself referencing all the other times it happened in Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Viper.
He did.
But anyway, anywho, so yeah, this fight is basically that. It's like we see a lot of cool movements and like actual fight choreography instead of just like After Effects files layered over each other, like on other things. So
So
I mean-
I really like that. The action was great. The choreography was great. We have actual wire work happening.
yeah,
And plot wise, or fuck it, words are hard. Yes, plot wise, when the brother gets unpossessed, right? They show he feels real sore because he just got in a fight he had no idea that happened. So he's walking around like, just like he's been, beat the shit out of him.
He got the shit
like
out of him.
But he's got no idea, and that's a nice point in the continuity.
Which you gotta wonder how those teachers felt later on.
They show us
They were
the
good.
same
Well,
thing.
they show some of them like holding parts of their body or just being like, "Ow!"
Especially the tiger guy or whoever the black dude. I think it was the bear.
He was the tiger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
There wasn't a bear.
Yeah,
He was also in Power Rangers. He was the. Sorry, I just yeah. I remember him. He was in Power Rangers as well. He was the monk who before Back in Time, when Cam went back in time, young Lothar in Ninja Storm, he was the Grand Master who was like, Lothar, you are banished into the winds. Yeah. I remember that.
He might have been, but the first thing that came up for me is that he was an RPM, the general.
But he was also in it.
Bruh, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
how dare y'all disrespect this man? He was in Xena.
Like the Warrior Princess?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. I was off the cuff. I didn't look it up. But that's what's up.
Oh, okay. Clear shade.
Okay,
face.
yeah.
But yeah, he was in a fuck lot of
He's in a lot of Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah. I just remembered that because I was like,
Yeah, Ancient Sensei, Zeltrax, and Dino Thunder.
Bro, you
Fucking-
mean his role at SPD as store manager isn't something we should be talking about?
He did triple duty because he was also He got shopkeeper and Orange Head.
hey, but shout out to SPD though. But yeah, no, it was like their bodies did definitely get hurt and beat as well. I did really like the aspects of the teachers. I thought that was so cool of like having like channeling the spirits to train her through like the teachers. Like, oh, you need people you can recognize. So he goes and gets her teachers, and just the way that he does it, like showing up out of nowhere, like Batman, and then letting the thing like influence them. And they're just like in a normal park. Like you just can't walk by and see your science teacher kicking your ass. Like it's just it's so funny to me.
It's in New Zealand, that's why.
Oh yeah, true.
Okay, with that whole training thing, the whole logic behind it was, I have to live in this town. I can't be seen beating up old people in the park.
Let's get
Yeah,
slightly
you're beating up your
less-
damn teachers.
Yeah.
The people who live in this town.
But they probably deserved it.
They didn't seem bad.
Well, we know the other high schoolers are cheering them on, but you just imagine the parents walking their dogs, seeing their kid's friend from school just kicking their teacher's ass.
They'd probably be like, I told you to grade them fairly, Mr. Wilbur.
That's too real. I might have to square up. But yes, I really enjoyed the training montage. It was a fun way to include some other characters and make them relevant. As much as I love old Chinese dudes, it was a way to keep that same kind of idea of like masteries in their own right and make it plot relevant for Wendy, a basic American high schooler. And then that comes into the final fight where it's like just 4 random high school teachers go against the evil that comes back every 90 years.
Very
Just glad we're
specific.
not in- that every last one of them is just like, we're just glad we're not in China. There'd be 6,000 of these things.
Yeah, no, that's why China sends off 6 or 7 to museums at a time. Just like we don't want them all in one place at one time because in 90 years
Dude,
it's gonna be a
what-
fucking problem.
It's a trope in movies that these things come to life. If it ever happens, we are fucked. Get rid of them.
Like, man, glad we weren't around for that first 90 years cycle, man. That was rough. We had to have an army.
Also, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of hated Wendy's boyfriend. Like,
Yeah,
Mikey.
that's
I
the
think
point.
everybody did, yeah?
The Jackass Surfer dude, right?
Yeah.
The model.
Yeah.
I'm a model. I
Yeah,
sent my thing. They said I have an 80s charm. Is that good? Wendy?
My issue is we see Wendy change so quickly and like get her shit together that we only have the boyfriend as a metric to demonstrate her change, right? Yes, absolutely shallow, but like 37 minutes ago, so was Wendy Wu.
Yeah.
And you know, we don't the point of the character is not to be nuanced, right? But you know, I don't know. Yeah.
It's also a made-for-TV, a 90-minute movie or something like that. So why the hell are you gonna waste time on a character and ain't nobody gonna care about?
True.
I'm glad he didn't come back up as a problem though.
Yes.
Let me
I'm
see.
glad we
Yeah,
didn't have
he's
to
just-
put him in his place.
Just he served his purpose. Get out. It's kind of like the Friends. They did their thing. We no longer need them. Just don't talk about them.
You know what else I'm really glad about? I'm really glad this didn't go full Power Rangers. They defeat the monster once, and then instead of just coming back to life, he would have grown into a giant robot that we have to go like combine our Megazords for.
Summon the
I'm glad
Megazord.
that didn't happen.
Me too, because that would have been so off cool.
I don't
Well,
know.
then she
There were no
could have
Megazords.
used the Kamehameha.
I wanted her to turn into
Okay.
the animals. That's what I wanted. You know, like
You know,
the
I'm
animals
not
that were
gonna lie.
training her.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think I would. I don't think I'd be okay with it going full Animorphs.
No, not like realistically, but like her astral project the animals were and be like Hulk kick, crane dance, bear kill. I don't know.
Yeah, you use everything you've learned. The force of will.
Would
Yeah,
you like some tea?
Airbending.
Yeah, I
Oh,
feel
son
that.
of a bitch.
It would
I know
would
what
have
you were referencing.
it would have been cool if instead of like repeated action pose, you know, it was yeah, we combined the powers that she learned. And
Yeah.
dragon. We just see this man flex an invisible tattoo one time, and that's it. We don't see her learn the goddamn dragon power of invincibility.
Oh, that's so dope.
That's why he's able to fight on the same level as her. The dragon is combining everything she learned. That's why she's invincible.
We were the dragon the whole time.
Fairy Tale was the main character.
Gotta get the talisman.
The dragon was the love between them.
All
I
right.
have Snow Fairy stuck in my head.
All right. Let me ask you, what were some of your favorite moments?
When Brenda's song came into frame for that first shot to the end of the movie.
Okay.
But
Mine
no,
is equally
seriously-
as bullshit, but I guess I feel it.
Seriously, it was Shin, like seeing the emotions of Shin, like seeing him like, oh, you know, I've never had like a family or a group and like feel accepted. That was pretty.
I've
I like
never had
that.
chocolate before.
I've never
This
danced.
mean-
is great.
That made me happy.
Yes.
And him like doing the pose outfit. That's cool. Shopping.
Orlando Brown
stuff.
singing "Will It Go Round in Circles."
Yes, that was the highlight for me. Because it was a simpler, better time.
Yeah.
Boys, in.
Things. I honestly, it's probably just the fight with the brother. It did have the some wire work in it, so it's not like full on like that Jackie Chan style, but it emulates it well enough. You could easily call that a tribute.
Oh yeah.
And with all the other like representation and the tributes to other Chinese films and style that they put in here, I'm willing to call it that, and it worked so well that yeah, I fell in love with that scene.
Yeah, yeah. Those men jumped off a second story railing and fell flat to the ground.
Yeah.
Like,
Most of these actors did their own stunts too.
I also love that you could see the padding under the rugs.
Yes, I know.
I'm not even mad
was
at
like,
that. I'm just
hey.
like,
I don't care. It worked.
I
need
don't
them to
know if
be
it's
safe.
doing much for him, but like, shit. I'm not mad at it. Also, I love the fact that we do hide, they hide in the edit. They hide the stunt actors so well, so that if you really have to look to see when the actual actor is in frame or whether it's the stunt person. They swap between it really well, and that's that fucking Power Rangers training right there.
Yeah. It's also really cool to me that they hold on one shot long enough for you to see them do a couple different moves. So they actually had to sit there and go over it, practice all this choreography beforehand. They couldn't just all right, just bop, 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 bop. And that's all you got to know, because then we'll go over it while they're setting up for the next shot.
Yeah, that's cool.
They-
Really enjoyed that.
Some of my favorite moments were definitely the small ones, especially at the beginning where Wendy's her instincts are kicking in. Like when she kicks the box to save the vase. There was a moment before that where she
Lipstick into the cookie.
Yeah, the lipstick into the cookie. She's like, "Whoa, what?" And then the Shaolin soccer moment, that was fun too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know not how powerful you are. It's like, okay, weirdo.
Or literally when she starts fighting Shin and then fights him off with the broomstick.
Finds the trained monk out of her house with nothing but a broom.
Which I was kind of deserved.
Bow is a bow.
He just barged in. And I was like, yeah, you
And
deserve
I'm
that
the
one.
guardian of the world to defeat an army of Terracotta warriors. Terracotta warriors. Like, I'm gonna get in how I get in, okay?
apparently with super speed, because
Call ADT, don't call me.
that dude the Flash.
Speaking of that climactic moment, my favorite scene in this entire film, it's all really good, right? The thing that really I had the most fun with was when Jessica Dawson, Wendy Wu's arch rival, just manifests at the outside of the museum.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about
as
that part.
evil.
Dude.
Just all black, yeah.
That fucking lip sync.
just evil screeches. And then the fucking CG of the weather, like the clouds
The weather
rolling
just
over
rolling.
and just like that, to me, it was clear that it was CG, but it was fun. And I loved it.
I forgot about that moment too. I was like,
It was solid.
now that you talk about it, I remember laughing out loud at that part just because of how fun it was. I was like, yes, I missed this kind of stuff, you know. Like, you can't take it too seriously, but she just kind of like whoosh.
Dude. When she's having her little monologues before the final fight picks up, the massive movement of her mouth.
I
You could
loved it.
tell the director was just like, we need to make sure that everything you're saying syncs up when we put the voiceover in there. Be more of a cartoon.
I couldn't imagine. That must have been tiring, especially after like 5 takes. Like, all right, we need to go again. Just like, oh.
Jesus Christ. But yes, it was fun. All right, one more thing I gotta touch on, right?
Mm.
We had talked about earlier, you know, having the time with your enemy to build up enough chi to bring him back to life. This motherfucker let Wendy Wu change outfits. Grandma rolls in. Wendy Wu shows up. She's like, I'm in my homecoming dress because I've come to save my man. And they go toe to toe. And Grandma rolls in halfway through this fight and is like, yo, I'm so proud of you. Yeah, wear your great grandmother's clothing.
Hopefully she the same size.
She lets her change, and we continue the fight. Like, oh my god, that's why.
Turn them into power
fucking-
rules, bro. Turn them into power
There
rules.
should have just been a magical
was
morphing
never a rule.
transformation.
That was
That's what
just-
it should have been, a magical morphin.
No.
Goku said we're supposed to let them transform.
No, he said it's no fun if we cut him off.
But no. So last thing, why? So we all said at the beginning that this was the best decom movie. Why, for you guys, is it the best decom movie? It's top 5 for me. When I thought about it, I was like, definitely top 5. Any of the top 5 could be number 1 for me. So,
Yeah, for
It's up
but Kim
there.
Possible saw the drama exist. So that's got to be in the running. That is such a solid movie.
Yeah.
That is such a solid movie. Ron did that for us.
I'm gonna be honest. Any of the animated ones probably gonna win over. But
Phineas and Ferb in the second dimension. Really?
Hilarious.
that's a fucking good movie.
It's hilarious. It's
I gotta rewatch it.
And you want to talk about subverting expectations? That one does it more than basically any of the
A
other.
Proud Family movie, really?
all right, live action. Gotta act
I showed that to my
qualifiers.
brother,
let's
and I
watch it to the
scarred him
pop.
with those peanut people. They were
Yeah, the
great.
peanut
It was
people
a
scarred
great
me too.
time. But no, this one, I love this one because I am a big fan. I love like Jackie Chan style movies, big kung fu movies, and everything. So the fact that this one actually touches on stuff like that, and that is what it's supposed to be about, yeah, it was already up my alley. But I find with a lot of the decoms, there's some element to it that is a big part of the story that I just can't get into. As I have gotten older, it's just harder to turn a blind eye to it. This one is literally just the ending. That last 2 minutes. And it's really and right after the one thing that bothers me happens, they go right back to the shit I was here for. Yeah, I can overlook it. You've built up enough goodwill that I can overlook that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, it's the action. It's the investment of quality in the action. We're fucking gonna compare it to Jump In again.
Well, it's the only other one we've done, so
Yeah.
So what a comparison.
Jump In is in my opinion, it's a good story, right? You can see the seams, you can see the intention behind the writing and the decision making. But all in all, it's a fine film. But the action just really isn't there, right? There's some double dutch. There's a little bit of boxing. But, like, we don't clearly communicate or, like, show the entirety of the action, right? We see one full double dutch routine. And even that's kind of edited. These fights are all edited, but it's like full budget fights. And they flow very well. They tell a story within the event, and it's relevant to the plot as it moves forward. And that's kind of why it works for me. The plot keeps it moving, even if it is kind of basic and cliche, with the power of family and finding, choosing to take care of your responsibilities, and friends over your personal goals. In this instance, that was, we started with that being a really big deal, but by the time we get to the end of it, homecoming queen is not that big of a deal to Wendy, right? But still, the entire go, it feels cohesive. and that's why I voted.
Okay.
It's
I definitely
one of the better ones. I feel like we've reached a at this point in the DCOM era, let's say, I think they had kind of refined everything to a point, and there's like the people who worked on it obviously did a very good job of working with what they had, but it's just fun at the end of the movie. I just enjoy how fun it is, how how it does have like good bits of comedy in it, how it's a little relatable in some parts. It was a good time. That's all I could really ask for, really.
Yeah. Had Brenda Song in it. Had Shin in it. There was Kung Fu, which is my favorite of the Foos, and Karate, my favorite of the Oddies. I love the cast. It had 2 Power Rangers, were 2 of my favorite Power Rangers. Really no misses, It had comedy, it had action, it paid homage to Jackie Chan, other goats, everything. So yeah, if it's not in your top 5, what are you doing? It'd at least be in your top 5. Might even be top 3, not 2. So, but do pay respect to Kim Possible Show the Drama. That movie, amazing. But yeah, what else is amazing? You supporting us. Oh, and Strange, I guess.
I was just saying all in general. It wasn't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what he was saying, I guess.
Play us out, Kai. Yes, you're gorgeous for checking us out here with DCOM December. We got a couple more episodes left here in DCOM December, and we'll get to that shortly. All here on Content Breaker. We're on all your podcasters, talking Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Podcast, or YouTube at Content Breaker. Gentlemen, you have things too.
Yes.
He has a
yes, I was actually doing the Netero from Hunter x Hunter. But yes, you can find me on Static Dreads. You can find me at Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Static Dreads. I can't talk.
I could read those lips. That was funny.
Yeah.
Static Dreads on Twitter. Tweeting about DCOMs and anime shit. I love it.
Yes. I'm going to tweet that right now.
All right.
Check out them DCOMs and that anime shit.
Yeah. Find me Strangely Entertaining. Look for Strangely Entertaining on YouTube and Twitch, where you can also find my Twitter from there, and I stream on Twitch 9 p.m. Central Standard Time usually. Sometimes I've been streaming early recently. So
I haven't been streaming at 9 p.m. at all.
so I just
say
said
earlier.
thank you for helping me say it.
Just say
Thing
earlier.
I said.
Tuesday evenings.
9 p.m.
No, fuck it. Tuesday evenings. Anyways, catch the other product on all your podcatchers, talking Spotify, at your typical Shonen Protagonist for more anime content. Is Wendy Woo an anime? If only.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bruh, give me Wendy Woo at Fidgets. Come on.
Hey, I'd watch it.
But we have more DCOMs coming up in December. Zog, what's next on the docket?
Well, we're going back to the animation side of things. Phineas and Ferb. The one cartoon this month.
I thought it was Lucky Irish. Right.
Read
Bye.
the doc.
Dude, that's the sad part. That's the sad part.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Next week on Content Burger.